Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's TheaterSays here, and in this video I'm going to discuss about the 5.5 Imaginarium Theater and what are the bosses, what are the enemies in this theater, what kinds of characters you can use for specific bosses, and how you can tackle the bosses mechanics. So in this theater, we have this pyro, electro, and animal elements. The first boss on the third act is this Icewind Suite, Nemesis of Coppelius. The Icewind Suite has 70% cryo and animal resistance and 10% of other types of resistance. And at the start, it has its resistance boosted up by 300%, but it's just like the time you are going to apply your buff, so that will be irrelevant. And when they are doing attacks like this one is the Nemesis of Coppelius, which is the Gentleman Dancer. The Gentleman Dancer will be in the center and the Lady Dancer will like circle around the domain. That's the climax phase. During the climax phase, all of its resistance will boost up by 25%. And during the climax of this Nemesis of Coppelius, it will spawn a cryo shield. It wasn't that thick, it's just like a small cryo shield. You can just break it like 2 really strong pyro attacks that will just do it, or like 4 really strong electro applications, or you can use the Archi-aligned attacks like the Puma to break the shield instantly regardless of the element. Characters like Nanette or Cloran are really good on this boss, or if you couldn't really get them, you can just use pyro attacks. Here it says that pyro attacks have an advantage, and here it says it's Ozia, sorry about that. So yeah, it says that Ozia aligned attacks have an advantage, and also after like 3 Ozia aligned attacks, it will become stunned for a little period of time. There will be no resistance threat, but at least they are stunned, they are stay in place, they won't attack and do knockback damage if you are not bringing a shield. You can just use a Cloran plus Lynette team. On the Act 6, we have our second boss, which is the Tenebrous Papilla, which we have seen this guy like really recently, like a lot of times. It has 70% all type resistance, and at the start it spawns out an Abyssal Wall where you need 72 times of attacks to break the shield, and Night Soul aligned attacks will count as 3 normal attacks. So yeah, it's the best you leave like Chaska or Yansan or Mavrika or Shilonen on this boss. And also you can just bring an animal unit. If the animal unit could do like off-field swirls like Venti's Burst or Kazuha's Burst or Sucrose Burst, yeah, those like really help on breaking the shield because they apply aura, they apply swirl, and they do their swirl damage in the same time, which is like really effective on breaking the shield. If you break its shield, its resistance will drop to 0 and then become paralyzed. And after it's recovered from its paralyzed state, it will recover 50% of its previous resistance. So in this case, it will be 35%. If you did not break the shield in time, it will just like burst up and then deal a bunch of damage to your on-field character, and then it will remain on 70% resistance, which is not a really good thing. On the Act 8, we have our third boss, the Hydro Tuber. The Hydro Tuber has 10% all elemental resistance except for Hydro. It's immune to it, but it's irrelevant because there's no Hydro characters in this theater. And all you need to know is that it deals like a lot of damage. It's like it hurts. So if you are using Bennett in this chamber, like, yeah, just beware. The only mechanic you have to look out for is the half tubers, which I call the little droplets. The little droplet spawns like periodically, and after some time the Hydro Tuber will absorb the little droplets and it will become enhanced and increasing all of its resistance by 45%, which all of its resistance will just boost up to 55%, and you don't want that. So what I recommend is that if you can do AoE damage, try to damage the Hydro Tuber and the little droplets at the same time. And if you manage to kill the little droplets when they are being like in the process of being absorbed by the Hydro Tuber, you can stagger the Hydro Tuber like for like I think 1 second, but you don't need the Hydro Tuber to be staggered because that 1 second stun wasn't that much when compared to like having to absorb the little tuber after you failed to like kill the little droplets in time. On the 10th act, we have our fourth boss, which is this assignment. The assignment has 10% all elemental and physical resistance, which is basically like no resistance. And at the start, it will have 100% resistance boost, but that's like not really relevant because you are like putting up buffs at the time. And after it's like uninvisible itself, it will spawn out a part and then turn invisible. And when it's invisible, all of its resistance will boost up by 200%. So it's 201% all elemental and physical resistance, and the parts will have 10% of its max HP, so you have to deal like enough damage to break the parts. And after you break one of the parts, it will spawn out its recovery parts with a little bit green colored line on the floor. If you attack one of it with electro attacks, the recovery part will be destroyed and it will become paralyzed for like about 8 seconds, but there's not really resistance threat, it will just return back to its normal resistance. And after it recovers from its paralyzed state, it will do one attack and then continue to spawn a part and then turn invisible again. So it's like turning invisible, break it, and then paralyze, and then it does one attack and then cycle back. And you can bypass this part breaking mechanic by just applying catalyzed reaction when it's invisible. So when you are able to locate it when it's invisible, you can just apply Dendro and then apply Electro, so you don't need to break its parts and it becomes paralyzed like instantly. And if you did not have any Dendro characters here and you want to break the parts and then you are afraid that, yeah, I'm using like burst reliant teams on this, would my ER be like a little bit difficult? Actually no, because the parts will provide 4 energy, which will like generate at least 24 energy to your characters, and then this 24 energy will be further increased by your energy recharge. So yeah, just don't worry, go all out to break the parts. And also, apart from these bosses, I have to say that on the Act 4, usually on the Act 4, I will just find the mech chamber so I can just cheese it out. I can just aggro one mech and then it won't attack the monolith, it will attack me, it will attack the player instead. But this time, I think that the developers has like deleted that kind of chamber, because I've retried like multiple times and I didn't see like chambers like those. But quickly I found like chambers that are quite easy to like aggro the enemies. It's the Saurian ones, the normal Saurian ones, not the like the elite Saurian ones, because the elite Saurian ones includes the tribe members, no? We just need the normal Saurian ones. It spawns out 2 Saurians and then they are easy to aggro and they attack like really slow. The second one is the Fatui one. They also spawn by 2 and they are extremely easy to be aggroed. But you just need to look up that there are attacks like they do elemental reactions. Like at the start, 1 Hydro and 1 Cryo Fatui will spawn. If you're not careful enough, you will just like freeze your on-field character, which is not a thing you want to have. One of the reasons that I think that a lot of people say that this is one of the hardest Imaginarium Theater is that the opening characters they give are like not really friendly. Because if you see like Shell is like really good, it's okay, but after like some testings from my retries, if you don't have a C6 Faruzan or don't have a Faruzan, he's not like doing like enough damage. He still does like really good damage, but not like comfortable enough. But this is not the worst. The worst one is Yoimiya, because like I have to ask Hoyo, what the fuck is this? Usually when they give me trial characters, I will use all of the trial characters, but not this time. This time I left Yoimiya unused. If you want to play her, you have to throw like your best sub DPSs like Bennett or Lanyan or Kazuha or Chevreuse, and when it goes higher, Yoimiya doesn't deal like enough damage. It's basically like if you don't have your own Yoimiya, you are 1 character short. This is not to spread hate to Yoimiya. This is not Yoimiya's fault, because I think most Yoimiyas have like about 70% crit rate and a really healthy crit damage. This time the developers like do her like really dirty. Not to blame Yoimiya, but just the developers. Like I have no idea what are they thinking about. And so this time we have the special guest stars. Shlolan, I don't think I have to elaborate more because she's the best support. There's not like really specific meanings. If you want me to like give her a reason, like a specific reason why she's here, I think mostly it's because of Malvika, because half of Malvika's fighting spirit comes from Shilonen's E, because Shilonen's E, like E attack just instantly generates 100 fighting spirit to Malvika. So yeah, it's like half of the fighting spirit bar. So yeah, if you don't have Malvika, she's like a very versatile support. If you have Malvika, I would definitely recommend her to be with Malvika along with Ian-san, along with like Kazuha or Bennett. Mika is actually one of the characters that I have no idea why he's here. There's not like really any physical characters you have here, like physical damage dealers. I don't think there's any of them. But one thing I do know that he buffs like attack speed. So yeah, Mika's talent actually like buffs the character's attack speed. So yeah, if you want me to think about it, it's like okay for any like normal attack dealers like Yoimiya or Arlecchino, like characters you need like fast attack speed. And then we have Alhaitham and Yao Yao. Both of them are here, I think, like for like 2 chambers. Although Dendro wasn't like really good on the Hydro Tuba, because Dendro would like generate like half of the cores if they are like attacking on Hydro infused enemies. But it's still okay if you are throwing like double Dendro on this chamber. And with a Shielder and then Kuki Shinobu, yeah, it's like a really good Hyper Bloom team you can like do on this Hydro Tuba. And also like catalyze reactions on this assignment. You can just like apply catalyze on the assignment and it directly becomes paralyzed. You don't need to like break the parts and then break the recovery parts. Yeah, you can just skip that and then just like apply catalyze and then it's just paralyzed. But just to beware that there's no buffs regarding Hyper Bloom damage or catalyzed damage. So yeah, that's something you have to look out for. Unless you have like really high constellation or like really good Alhaitham, then you can just like ignore what I just said. And you don't have enough time, you don't have enough DPS for the last chamber, you can just bring a Yao Yao as the healer and then an Electro character on the team, and you can just apply catalyze on the assignment and then it will be just like paralyzed. So I think that's all for this theater. If this guide helps you, this overview helps you, leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.